morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome back to Ella Bendula. Today I'm going to be sharing some tiny garden tips and tricks. Tip number one, the fun grape. So I reached a certain point in the game where I was stuck and I couldn't unlock this specific fruit. I had no idea what it was. The shadow sort of looked like a grape. So I figured it might be a sparkly grape, a shiny grape, but it wasn't quite a shiny grape, though I was on the right track. And the answer would have been clear to me had I read the description in the grape section. Changes color with each turn of the crank until it becomes a fun fruit. Now that is the important part. It changes color with each turn of the crank. So what you need to do is simply make sure you have some grape seeds, plant said grape seeds, and watch them grow. Once they are fully grown, ooh, I have a shiny, and the same applies to shinies. As you turn the crank, the colors change until it reaches a nice deep purple, and you'll see little swirly things. Here we go. So now our regular grapes and our shiny grapes have turned into fun grapes. And when you harvest them, they're their own category of grape. So they aren't added to the regular grape batch, they are added to the fun grape batch. All right, so tip number 2 is that you don't need more than a couple of mushroom seeds of any kind of mushroom. Even if you need many, many, many mushrooms, this is what I call the unlimited mushroom trick. So take one seed. I'm going to plant one of each kind of mushroom. We have to be careful, be wary of this one, because this specific mushroom will wither your tree within, I believe, 4 cranks or 4 spins. So you have to delete the original mushroom and replant. Well, not replant, but delete the originals and sort of, I'll show you. I'm not very good at explaining. Anyway, for this trick, all you need to do is plant a mushroom seed. So I'm planting one of each kind. And of course, they plant under trees. That's why you need to make sure that before anything else, you have fully grown trees. And then go ahead, grow those mushrooms. And as you can see, all 3 mushrooms have grown. This tree hasn't begun to wither yet, but after the next crank, it will. And what you're going to see is that with every turn, new mushrooms will just randomly appear. So they've all doubled. Alrighty, I have new mushrooms. I'm going to go ahead and delete these to make way for more mushrooms. As long as you have one of the type of mushroom that you want, as long as you have one on the board, it will multiply. It's a fungus. So this is as much as that can go without withering. So do this as many times as you want, or as many times as you need to. And look, I have 132. 130 and 56. All right, so that's it for tip number 2. I hope this one was useful. Let's move on to tip number 3. So tip number 4 is related to changing the colors of fruits and vegetables. So when I first started playing, I thought that the only time I was able to change the color of a fruit or vegetable was when it first planted or grew for the first time. There's a pop-up that introduces you to that fruit, and I thought that was the only time you could choose the color of that fruit or vegetable. But that is in fact not the case. All you have to do is go into your seeds catalog, click the seed or the crop that you want, and then click on this little paint bucket, and voila, you can change the color of the crop. And what's fun is that the crop's color will change right away. Even if it's already been planted and even if it's already grown. So let's see that in action. So I grew some grass and some raspberries. Now, ooh, there's a shiny and an extra raspberry. So I'm going to change the color of the raspberries to black and yellow. That makes them look like poisonous. And the grass will be purple. What a strange alien environment this is. Oh my gosh, it's almost Halloweeny. You know what? This is inspiring me to do like a cool Halloween different vibes, and I love it. Anyway, back onto the second part of tip number 3. Changing the color of furniture now is quite similar. All you have to do to change the color of furniture quite similarly is to click your little catalog here, click on the furniture section, click on the item that you want, and it changes the color of that item. My little stool is now yellow. If I want to change the color of the sofa, I can go back, look for my sofa, and pick a new color. Let's go with orange. Et voila. Now the color is changed. All right, so that's tip number 3. Alrighty, tip number 4 is to simply stock up on your basics. When I say basics, I mean first and foremost your carrots, your turnips, followed by your cacti, then your bushes and your lettuce, and of course your potatoes. But as long as you start with these 4 basics, for these first 4, I say try to start with at least 1 to 200 of the actual physical fruit in your pocket here, as well as an extra 50 seeds on the side. So it's very tedious and very grindy at first. Just going to your farm and planting the same crop over and over and over. But it's worth it. You don't want to end up being stuck later on down the line and having to go back and replant. It's not fun. And it takes away from the momentum of the game when you're on a specific track and then all of a sudden you have to go back and plant crop C. But before you can plant crop C, you need crop B. And before you can plant crop B, you need crop A. But oh no, I don't have any of crop A. So if you stock up on those basics at first, and then as your game progresses, as your garden progresses, once you have, for example, 200 carrots, then you can start stocking up on a lot of lettuce. And in turn, and same for the bushes, then you can start stocking up on a lot of potatoes. And it trickles down. It's a very big trickle effect. It trickles down into everything else they need to plant. So make sure you have hundreds of the main four, the big four, to start. All right, and for the last and possibly most exciting, so you can, in a regular gardening mode, rotate the screen simply by pressing Q and E. So Q goes clockwise, E goes counterclockwise, and of course W, A, S, and D can shift the screen for you, but the Q and the E rotate the screen so that you can see your garden from different angles and your home too. Now, I don't know if this was mentioned in the tutorial and somehow I just missed it. If it was, oops, my bad. But if it was mentioned in the tutorial, there might be somebody else just like me that also missed it. So this is for those of you that did not know this. And that's it.